So yeah, so you're COVID free?
I believe so.
2020 COVID free.
Yeah, I just hope I've got the antibodies. 10 o'clock in the morning, I'm going, and you get the results in like half an hour.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't want to have to stay in for 2 weeks. Like at the start of this, like I've got like what some people would call hypochondria, and what other people, doctors, like
health anxiety.
So like a few years ago, me dad had a heart attack, and a month later, I started getting bad chest pain and like breathing issues. And every time it happened, I would ring an ambulance, go to the hospital, and I'd get there, and there's these doctors looking at me like, "You're 22. Yeah, you're not going to have a heart attack." But
you were here half an hour ago.
Yeah, I got to a
sixth ambulance today.
I've told this story on other podcasts. This is true. So it was happening so often that I felt stupid because I was going to the hospital like 3 times a week via ambulance with suspected heart attack as like a 20-year-old. Now I'm fat, but I'm not heart attack at 22 fat. Do you know what I mean? There's a difference between those two. There's a difference between struggles with 4 flights of stairs and heart attack at 22. Yeah. And the doctors, they have to treat you a certain way. They can't go to you, you're not going to have a heart attack, because then if you have a heart attack, you can sue the NHS. So they go, look, it's extremely unlikely, especially because you don't do cocaine and you don't smoke. It's really, really unlikely. But, if you ever get really bad chest pain and you feel like you need to come back, do come back. So then when your anxiety kicks off and you get an unbearable chest pain, I'd just go back. But I'd then be sitting there feeling a little bit better in the like corridor they put you in Majors at the Royal Liverpool Hospital. And you just sat there going, these must think I'm a fucking idiot. I must be the biggest dickhead they've dealt with all day. And there was one day I'd come in at the same time as this other lad. And he'd been throwing up blood because he'd been like triaged next to me in the corridor. So I heard everything that had gone on. And he'd been throwing up blood all day. And like he's sitting there, he's gone white as a ghost. And I'm like, look, I'm sat here not having a heart attack for the 4th time this week, dealing with the same nurse and doctor who's dealt with me every other time this week. They're going to fucking hate me. And this lad's there, and I'm like, this lad's throwing up blood. He's got real problems. And I felt like a fucking arsehole. And then they sent another nurse over to him and was like, we've done a lot of tests on you, and there's not, like, they've done an ECG on this lad and all that, and whatever else they've done. Like, yeah, we can't. You haven't had, like, loads of red wine or Ribena, have you? And he was like, I drank a full bottle of Ribena earlier. And he'd just been throwing up Ribena. And I've never felt, like, more relieved. I was like, oh, I must be like a fucking hero to these people. At least I actually think I'm having a heart attack. Yeah. This guy's overdosed on fruit juice.
I hope he's watching this.